Hi guys, what's up? It's your girl, Miss Kira Snow, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about the one and only Squid Games. My thoughts on the storyline and the characters. And so as you see, what I have on here right now is some Squid Games inspired makeup. Did it kind of last minute. Might be a little distracting, all the shapes on my face, but you watch this video long enough, you'll get used to it. And also, if you're planning on watching it, that my review or my thoughts are going to be like filled with a lot of spoilers. So definitely go watch it first. It's actually pretty short. It's only like 7 episodes, like 30 minutes long-ish. So just watch it and come back here if you don't want it spoiled. All right. Yeah. I did the shapes as inspired by those little weird shapes that they had to wear on their faces to conceal their identity. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is the game itself. And then also I just wanted to add that I literally watched the entire series in just like the span of one day. Well, I started at like 9 p.m. and then I watched it until 3 a.m. So I was very much hooked on it until the very end. I really wanted to know what happened. I guess I was really, compelled by the characters themselves. So one question that I guess kind of gonna ask to prompt myself is, if my life was the way the characters' lives were, then would I play the game? And, it might be really easy to answer this way because my life is really not really like theirs. But what I would say is I would not play this game. Now that I've already seen the story, it's easy to refuse the game. But ultimately, I think I'm just way too afraid of death and getting shot and being under that stressful situation. So I think I would definitely not play the game. Not into it, not playing it. And yeah, one thing that I really stuck with me, it was how creepy it was when someone died, they just brought out the box. Nobody really said anything. They just brought out that little black box and took them away. And it was really weird that it was like a present shaped. It's like, what is that symbolizing? Like a gift. A gift, like an offering to those people that play the game. I don't know. It's really strange to me. All right. So kind of the main character, I guess, was Gi-hun. And in the beginning, I really didn't like him. Like, he seemed so much of like a dimwit who always had bad luck, who was always making the wrong decisions. So I really didn't fall in love with him at all in the very first episode. I was like, oh my god, this guy is so dumb. So I didn't really connect with him. I wasn't really invested in him as a character. But after I found out more about his relationship with his daughter and just his personality, he seemed really kind, I guess. And so even though he was very silly and weird, he still seemed kind to me. So he kind of really grew on me. And oh my gosh, one of my favorite characters is Sang-woo. Probably everybody loves Sang-woo. Well, I'd assume so. I haven't really talked to anybody about Squid Games, even though I really want to. But anyways, I found he was the most, I guess, relatable character to me because he found himself in moments where he was doing really good things and then moments doing really bad things, like in the games when he would kind of betray people. But ultimately he's doing it because it was the smartest thing to do for him and his game. And so I found that to be really interesting. And I suppose it also helps that his character was, obviously a very handsome actor. So of course everybody loves him because of that. But he made a really compelling character because he was kind of quiet and very like neurotic, and so he was always like planning or thinking something. And it was interesting because he had really kind moments when he was really building that friendship with Ali, and I couldn't really figure out why he liked Ali so much. He even seemed to like Ali more than Gi-hun, Gi-hun was his friend from his childhood. So I kind of was like still wondering why he was trying to facilitate that friendship, or if it was solely to build his trust to take advantage of him in the games. I wonder if that was Sang-woo's plot all along, was to potentially betray Ali because he knew he was so naive. That makes me dislike Sang-woo even more, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I do remember when they had that, they actually teamed up. It was the old man, Gi-hun, Sang-woo, and Ali. They like teamed up and they made a little team, and they were like, it was them versus kind of like Deok-soo's gang. And I just really loved that they were like trying to be a team, and including the old man. It was just so sweet, and I just wanted them all to win and ride off into the sunset and share the money. But of course, that's not actually what happened. And then of course we get to the next player, Ali, one of my other favorite players. I was like absolutely devastated when they killed him. I was like, no, he was so sweet. I was hoping he would make it to the end, and I'm just like, what's gonna happen to his family? Like, I don't know. It's just crazy. But yeah, I really liked his friendship with Sang-woo, and he even saved Gi-hun during that first red light, green light game. And so, but ultimately he ends up going. He just seemed like a really sweet character, and I just loved his moments with Sang-woo. It was just a really good like brotherhood type friendship that I just like. It was so nice to see it kind of like start and then blossom throughout the games. And of course, with the marble game, that was the worst episode ever. It was just like so stressful, and you're just seeing everybody torn apart. And I was just like, no, don't get torn apart. And interestingly, that was the episode where the girls, I forget their name is. I know one is Kang Se-byuk and the other one, I forget her name. But basically the only two, well, yeah, the two young girls. It was interesting how everyone else was being ripped apart relationship-wise, but that was the time when their relationship actually solidified. So that was kind of interesting to see the difference there. And then we get to Han Mi, which is that crazy lady who's always yelling and being loud, and I don't know, she just had, in the beginning, she really had an annoying personality to me. Like, I didn't really like her, but then as time went on, like, she kind of grew on me, and she really provided like comedy relief, and she was just really entertaining to watch. Han Mi is not her full name, but hopefully you guys know who I'm talking about. And I really liked how when they were jumping on the glass, she hugged that guy Deok-soo and like took him down with her, because I was like, that guy deserves to die. He's like the worst. Like, take him down with you. Yeah, go girl. Like, she ended up kind of being one of my favorite characters, just because like she does what she says she's gonna do, and she's confident in herself. So even though she was kind of crazy and kooky and like kind of a loudmouth, I ended up liking her. So yeah. And then of course the old man. So I really think that, his relationship with Gi-hun was definitely sweet. Like all the times Gi-hun and the old man would talk to each other, they would just like relate on such a bromance kind of level. It wasn't even like, there was some like father son type of vibes, but it was mostly just like a friendship that was like really strong and pure, and I just really loved it. And of course, the Marvel episode was really heartbreaking to watch for them as well. And then question would be, what would I do in the Marvel game scenario if I were paired with someone who was like my friend? So I kind of thought about this and I was like, what if you played a game but it just kept going back and forth? Like you guys just kept getting even marbles. So I think I would try to like play a game in which there'd be no winner and we would always tie and just keep tying and tying and tying, and then maybe see what happens. And if we really had to choose someone to go, if they were like truly one of my best friends, I think I would let them win, to be honest. Like I don't think I could carry that guilt, and like I definitely couldn't do what Song-woo did and like, I don't know, like betray them. But at the same time, like Song-woo kind of made a point where it's like, you just met these people in the game, like they're not important because you literally just met them. But I don't think that's true. Like you just meet people every day and then they can become great friends to you. So I'm inclined to think that I would let my friend win if they were a really good friend, which basically all of the pairings in the Marvel game were good friends. So yeah. Oh, and then I forgot to talk about Kang Se-byuk. So she was definitely a really cool character. Like I just loved her lines. They were really like, her personality was just like really like deadpan, like no or yes, and she was just like had that like tough girl vibe, and she was just a really cool character to watch. And I was like kind of rooting for her, hoping she would win, but in the end she doesn't win. So yeah, I think she was definitely one of the coolest female characters in Squid Games, like hands down, period. Yeah, really cool character. And then another question would be, if I played Squid Game, do I think I would win? And would I have any strategy? So I think if I played Squid Games, I don't think I would win. I just don't think so. I'm not like a big games or strategist person. Definitely not. Yeah, that's just my answer. So, and then for strategy, it's like, okay. I was thinking like it would be good to be in a group, like to have people to rely on, like maybe like 3 or 4, I guess. But the problem with that is once you start relying on people, like you barely know these people, so you can't really trust them. So, I mean, I would be in a group, but I wouldn't try to place too much trust on those people. Like, as well, depending on like, how close of a bond we make. I could trust them a little more, but I would definitely not really try to trust them too extremely because I don't think they necessarily have my back because this game is so cutthroat. And another part of Squid Games that I found to be so crazy good was the tug of war, and it was just so amazing when Gi-hun's team won and Song-woo like led them to victory with the old man's advice. Like that was really cool, to be honest. I had played tug of war in the past, like at my school, and I think most of the time my side would lose, and I would just be like, I have no idea how to win tug of war. Like, it just seems like so based on chance of like, oh, stronger players on one side, they're definitely gonna win. Like, I had no idea what type of strategy to put into that. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, with regards to strategy games, apparently I don't know anything about strategy. So, although I did win chess like a few times. So, I mean, I know like a little bit, but I don't know. Like, I'm not the biggest strategist. So, all right. And then I think I'm pretty sure, so what I'm talking about is what was up with the guy with the gold mask, and what do I think the antagonists were trying to do all along, or what's their goal? So I'm pretty sure he had a gold mask, or basically the guy that was like we saw that was like in charge, like kind of like the head antagonist guy, who was like kind of sitting on his couch watching these games unfold, with the muffled voice, and he was always using the phone. So what do I think was up with him? Why was he doing this? And what was their purpose all along? So I do feel like their purpose is kind of like entertainment for, you know, the VIPs, people like that who are into this stuff. And I think, you know, they just get a kick out of doing this weird, messed up things. But although we do see the old man had a part in creating this, and he did so, I believe, because he wanted to just, I guess, be entertained and give a fair shot to people who didn't have money, or didn't have, you know, yeah, didn't have money, and people who needed it. But I don't, this high stakes of a way of winning money is just, there's no reason to kill these people. I think, you know, you could still have the same, well, not the same, but you could still have the contest and not kill these people. I don't understand why you have to kill them afterwards. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. The only reason to do that is if you have kind of like this desire to have this sadistic game, like involving death to raise the stakes. Like, I don't think people have to die. That makes it extremely traumatizing and weird. And the fact that the masked guy was the policeman's brother is really weird. And what I think is going on there is, I think the policeman's brother, he had to either have been like brainwashed or somehow convinced into thinking that this type of game behavior is okay, or maybe he secretly likes this sadistic type of entertainment, and he didn't want the rest of his family to know this is what he's doing because it's so crazy and weird. And so that's why he ends up shooting his brother, because he doesn't want his brother to tell anybody about what he's doing, and he wants to stay in this kind of illegal underground Squid Games business. Like, that's all I can think of. I haven't really read many articles on theories, and I'm not the best at coming up with theories myself, so I don't know, but that's the best I can think of off of like just purely my own assessment of it. And with regards to the ending with Gi-hun winning, I think that was probably the best thing Sang-woo ever did, was to I guess, you know, kill himself in the end for the sake of Gi-hun, and just the sake of one of them at least benefiting off this money. Like, that was a very selfless act of him that I didn't expect of Sang-woo, especially after all he had done throughout the games. I didn't think he would get this far and still do that. But he did put up a fight in the end, so he wasn't that kind. But he did what Gi-hun couldn't, which was, kill someone. So that was pretty crazy. Ultimately, I didn't really like the way this ended. I was really hoping for a happy ending, maybe the four main characters winning, plus Kang Se-byuk. Four main characters, as in the old man, Gi-hun, Sang-woo, and Ali, and Kang Se-byuk. I just wanted them all to win and split the money. So that's what I wanted. But that didn't happen. And so also with the ending, what I thought was, I was actually glad that Gi-hun reacted the way he did to his winning. He kind of didn't spend any of his money and kind of just went into this whole state of he looked like kind of homeless, like he had been out of it for like a year after his winning, like kind of traumatized by it. And I was kind of happy to see that that was his reaction, because it shows he was remorseful. It shows he wasn't like, oh, just another day in the life, spending my money. Like, I'm glad he was remorseful and that he acted like I thought he would. Because if he had just kind of gone about his business, not caring about these people's lives, then I would have kind of thought he was a bad person. And I'm glad he has, he has that kind of character. So that's what made me like him in the end, even though in the beginning he was kind of a dimwit. All right. So those are my thoughts on Squid Games. And I hope you guys liked hearing my thoughts about it. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are about it. If you like this video, leave a like and please subscribe. Join the, I don't even know what my followers are called, but join us. Become a subscriber to Kira Snow's YouTube channel so you can get more amazing content like this. Thank you for watching. Bye.